So Sarah, maybe if we move on to the next stage, so following the online application, you're likely to have a telephone or Skype interview at some point. What advice would you give people here about how to perform well at the telephone or Skype interview?
Well, if we just step back a second and put it in some context, the basic process is that you submit your application form. If they like you, they'll send you the online aptitude tests, and if you can navigate your way through those, then you'll be asked to a telephone or video interview. So that's where we are in the process when we're at this stage. They're really good for firms because they are a cheap screening before the assessment centre. And remember how competitive it is. They can't possibly invite every applicant to interview, so they've got to have something, a preliminary screening to whittle down the numbers. To be honest, with the advance of technology, more and more firms are looking towards the video interview and away from the telephone interview, which is a bit of a shame because the video interview is a little bit more artificial, a little bit more awkward, because there's nobody on the other end of the line for you to bounce conversation off.
Yep.
But to give you a bit more information on the video interview, you log on to a website, you'll do a practice question, then you'll start. And the worst thing about the video interview is that, well, once you've done a couple, you'll be fine, but is not knowing the format. So you'll probably be asked 4 or 5 questions in total. The questions pop up on your screen, they're written on your screen, and you're given around 15 seconds to prepare before you start to be recorded via your webcam. And then you'll get, the numbers will flash up 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 as the countdown, and then recording will automatically start. And you'll have a time limit, probably around 2 minutes, after which time you'll be cut off automatically. So if you can practice that sort of pressurized answering questions in that sort of environment, then that's the best practice that you can possibly do. Some typical video interview questions might be, what has been your biggest setback and what did you do to address this? Or tell us about a commercial issue you have seen in the news that has interested you and explain how it is relevant to our firm. So you can see if they ask you a commercial question like that, you have to have done all your commercial, you have to be commercially aware and done all that research and the firm-specific research, because if not, before you even got to the assessment centre, they're asking you about it and you've got 15 seconds where you can't really do much research in 15 seconds. So it will pay to have done that beforehand.
No, definitely. Oh, that's I can see why they'll be daunting to do for the first time. So it really is, practice is key. And also touching upon, you mentioned the psychometric tests which you're going to face. So on numerical and verbal reasoning and situational judgment. And make sure you check out the sponsor for the show, careergym.com, who've got a whole suite of these that you can practice, because it is such an easy step that so many people fail at, is they just don't put the time and effort into to practicing psychometric tests, and it is just a case of practice makes perfect. Agreed. But from speaking to graduate recruiters offline, the number of people that fall at this step is really large, and it's people just don't put they'll put loads of effort into doing the online application, but then sort of just think it'll be all right, but you really do have to practice, because otherwise you'll just fall at that hurdle.
No, agreed.